So how's it going, Boss Buddies? Now, I noticed recently there's quite a few reviewers that have been doing 10 fragrances for life. Now, obviously, I wear a different fragrance every day, pretty much, and I have been for the last 6 months, so I thought it'd be fun to put together my top 10 for life. So I'll be back in just a second with just that. So welcome back, you're watching the Luxury Fragrance Boss channel. My name's Scott and I'm the Luxury Fragrance Boss. Now, as I said, I thought it'd be fun to put together my top 10 for life, or my 10 fragrances for life, if I could only live with 10 fragrances. So bearing in mind that's a very, very tall order for me, as I do try fragrances every day. And I've tried some amazing houses and amazing scents over the last 6 months. So it has been very tough for me to pick out these 10. The vast majority of them, though, I can happily say are actually from my collection. There's a couple that I'm looking to add this year. But yeah, the majority of them are going to come from my collection. So just before we get started with my number 10, if you're not already subscribing to the channel, you enjoy the content, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Other than that, make sure you follow me on Instagram as well, at Luxury Fragrance Boss, to keep up to date with anything else that I've got going on. So without further ado, let's get into my number 10. Now, I haven't really selected to put these in any order, but with my number 10, I think because it's at the higher price end of things, I'm going to go with X. X for Men by Clive Christian. This is one that I recently picked up. This was a little Christmas gift to myself. I picked up the travel set here with the 3 original fragrances. This is my favourite of the 3 originals. I've become really drawn to Clive Christian when I first started researching niche fragrance houses, and I was just blown away by the absolute sort of luxurious look about them. The fact that they were commissioned by the original Crown Perfumery, as they were known up until 20 years ago when Clive Christian bought them. They were commissioned by Queen Victoria and Prince Albert, I believe, to make them exclusive scents. So that's exactly, I mean, that's how this company was kind of born, really. And then, as I said, Clive Christian bought them out 20 years ago. So there's exciting things going on this year for their 20th anniversary. But this one here, I just love this one because it's such a dark sort of woody, very, very elegant, sort of leathery smell, incredibly masculine. And this one is, this one's probably maybe the most powerful out of the 3. It's definitely the most likable one, I think. I mean, the other 1872 is very, very clean, and number 1 is incredible, but I'd say it's quite an acquired taste. This one is probably going to be the one that's most enjoyed by most people, I would think. So, I mean, this is one that I really love from the house, so that's why this one goes into number 10, and very perfectly suited because X means 10 in Roman numerals. So, in number 10 there we've got Clive Christian's X. Now, number 9, I think I'm going to go with my favourite tobacco that I've tried. I do love the tobacco note, and I do own a couple of tobacco fragrances, but the one that I would definitely put in my top 10, if I had to pick one tobacco fragrance for the rest of my life, it would be Sandor 70s by Carner Barcelona. This is one that I tried a few months ago. I think it was back in October, which is just after I picked it up in Osme Perfumery. This one, I just love it because it's such a different tobacco fragrance. It's not that kind of sort of sweet pipe tobacco or anything like that. This is the smell of cigar tobacco. It's such a masculine cigar-y smoke kind of smell. It's got a wonderful aroma to it, and it reminds me, or it evokes the feel of walking into a very, very high-end sort of cigar lounge with sort of wonderful leather, oak furniture. And you've got that sort of smell of sort of maybe a little bit of booze or whiskey in the air, and then just that amazing tobacco aroma that you get from like a very, very expensive cigar. And that's exactly what you get with that's what you get with Sandor 70s. Like I say, I've tried maybe not 100 tobacco fragrances. I've tried quite a few tobacco fragrances, but this has been my favorite one. And if you watch my channel regularly, this does pop up quite a lot in my favorite scents and sort of ones that I recommend. Obviously, all the ones that I'm recommending, all fantastic for performance. Because if you know me and you watch my channel, you will know that I'm a big fan of performance. Things have to perform in order for me to sort of recommend them, and otherwise I would tell you right up in a single review if I don't think it's worth the money. All of these I was selected are completely worth the money and top performers. So in number 9 we've got Sandor 70s by Carner Barcelona. So in number 8, we've got one of my favourite fragrances. However, this one, I mean, many of you will know that I wore this one for my wedding, and it can be quite a polarising fragrance. It's a very, very strong fragrance. I think probably the strongest fragrance that I own, and that's Interlude Man. Now, why I would have this in my 10 fragrances for life is because I absolutely adore this one. It's so unique. For me, this is perfect for evenings. Now, I have worn this during the daytime, and I do actually get a lot of compliments from it. I mean, personally, I think that compliments tend to come more with stronger fragrances because obviously you're attracting more people's attention with them. They've got a wider projection. So I think that's probably why this one has got me quite a few compliments. I mean, it's definitely more of an acquired taste, as I said, like with a couple of the Clive Christians, specifically number 1. But this one, it's like a sexy bonfire mixed with a grill, with some incense in it. It's just, to me, it's just an incredible fragrance. My wife also adores this one as well. This is the one, as I said, I wore for my wedding. When it comes to beast mode fragrances, fragrances that are unique and going to get you noticed, definitely this one is up there. As I said, I just absolutely adore the fragrance of this one, so that's why it's definitely going to be in my 10 for life. So in number 8, we got Amouage Interlude. Oh, just knocking them over there. Now, let's go into number 7. What would I pick for number 7? Let's go to probably one of the more sort of better known houses. I'm going to go to the house of Creed. Now, you may be surprised if I don't pick Aventus, but let's face it, pretty much, I think probably most 10s, when it comes to fragrances, most people are going to pick, if it's from Creed, they're going to pick Aventus, so they can have their Aventus. I'm going to go with, as you know, if you watch me regularly, you know this is one of my favourite fragrances, and I'm going to go with Viking. What I love about this one is it's such a beautiful fragrance that you can wear sort of any time of year, whether it's hot outside, whether it's cold outside. It's got different notes in it that are blended so well that you've got citrusy notes in it that are going to make it light enough to wear in the summer and make it sort of feel fresh. But then you've got some darker woody notes and like peppers and things like that. They're going to sort of make it feel like a warmer fragrance when you're wearing it in the winter. It's such a versatile fragrance, and it's a little bit more unique as well than I think a lot of the other sort of Creeds that are out there. They kind of, I don't want to say they have a generic smell, but they do have smells that other fragrances make that are quite similar. Now, I have heard that Clive Christian do make one a little bit similar to this one called, I believe it's called Chasing the Dragon or something like that, from one of their new collections. I've not had a chance to smell that one, but until then, Viking is going to stay in my top 10. One thing I would like to do with this top 10 list is I would like to update it probably every 6 months or maybe a year, just to see if anything has changed. Right now, these are the ones that I'd happily take all 10 of these above anything else that I've tried out. So some of these may surprise you as we go along. So let's get into number 6. Now, I think for number 6, I'm going to go with the last one that I've got here that I don't actually own yet, but I am definitely adding it to my collection sometime very soon. And that's Lair Desert Moroccan by the House of Tower. I really do love this fragrance, and it's such an inviting fragrance. This is one that I put in my top 10 signature scents, which I will be doing another sort of top 10 signature scents, and they're going to be 10 different signature scents to the ones that I picked originally, because I like to sort of keep everybody updated with stuff out there that is available to everybody, and it would make wonderful sense for you. As I said, like, that's what I love about doing sort of the reviews and the different recommendations. This one here, I think everyone should own this one, and that's why it belongs in the top 10. It's such a wonderful sort of unique fragrance. To me, as I said, if you've seen me talk about this one before, the one thing I love about this, it reminds me of sort of a 5-star resort on the Egyptian desert. And you've got sort of herbs and spices, sort of late time in the evening, just sort of the sun setting, you get that sort of sweet smell that blows across the deserts, or like when you've been on vacation somewhere, you got that kind of sweetness. I don't know whether it comes from sort of nearby fields or something like that, in the area of wherever you are on vacation, but that's kind of scent that you get from this one. Maybe some little bits of food and stuff like that being cooked in the restaurant on the resort, but yeah, just such an absolutely incredible fragrance. One that I really do want to add very, very soon to my collection. Strangely enough, I had a dream a few nights ago where I was back at home with my parents, and I saw a bottle of this one in my dad's collection for some reason, even though he doesn't own it, not to my knowledge anyway. But yeah, this one's definitely going to be added to my collection. So, I mean, it's pretty much, as I said, it's been in my dreams. So, right, so let's get into the top 5 then. Now, in number 5, Number 5, I'm going to go with one that I have been wearing quite a bit recently, and that's Molecule 01. I really do adore this fragrance. I get so many compliments on this one because it's such a wonderful, sort of clean smelling fragrance. Some people sort of are anosmic to this one. They don't really smell it. My wife is actually in that list of people that are anosmic to it. She smells it a tiny bit to begin with, but then she can't smell anything, yet it projects massively off of her. This one is one that I smell all the way throughout the day, and it does project massively off of me. I've put this in my, I think I put it in my Beast Mode fragrances. I can't remember it. It was before I owned it, so that was quite a few months ago now when I did that video. But this one should definitely be in Beast Mode fragrances. It is a massive projector if it does work for you. This is one that does actually work a lot better in hotter climates, so I'm told. So me living here in like sort of the early 80s, mid 80s, a lot of the year, obviously I'm always going to get fantastic performance from this one. Now this one, as you can see, I've used quite a bit of it, considering I only got it just after, beginning of the year really. So bearing in mind that I wear different fragrances every day, I've still used up a fair bit of this one at my sort of little travel, my travel bottle. This one was only, I think it was £35 I paid for this one in the UK. I don't know whether it's still available. I think it's $45 or maybe $49 if it's in the US. If you can find it online anywhere. Definitely worth picking up a small bottle or trying it out. This is definitely my top recommendations of ones to try out as well. See if it works for you. Otherwise, try all the different molecules. You've got molecule 1 to 4. One of them is going to work for you. And one thing I like about this one as well, this will make a perfect signature scent if it does work for you, because this one does smell different on everybody. Obviously, I mean, most fragrances do that because it's the way that they react against your own unique skin. But this one, because it's only the one ingredient, it's just the 1 grain of ISO E Super, it's going to smell a little bit different on everybody. Apparently on me, this one smells super clean and it does draw a hell of a lot of compliments. So in number 5, I've got Molecule 01. So moving into the top 4 now. Out of the top 5, I have to admit it's very hard for me to sort of pull these apart and put them in any kind of order, because I do love them all just as much, with the exception of one which I do love just that little bit more. Which, if you watch my channel regularly, you'll know exactly what my number 1 will be. But let's move into my number 4. Number 4 is a fragrance that I've been wearing today. I wore it last week as well, and I had the most compliments that I've got from this fragrance since in the time that I've been wearing it. But obviously I wear different fragrances every day, so I don't get to wear this one very often. As you can see, I've had this one now, I think about 4 months, and that's all I've used so far. But I did wear this one last week, and I got stopped by about, I think 3, maybe 4 women in the office asking me what I was wearing, because they just loved the smell of it. They just loved how woody it was, which surprised me because I get something a little bit dirtier out of this one. What I love about this one, it is a very unique sandalwood, because it's a lot more leathery. It's got a lot more sort of grit to it. Definitely quite unique. And pretty much a beast mode projection as well. So as you know, I like my stronger fragrances. So Santal 33 by Le Labo would have to it would have to be in my top 5 above my top 10. So yeah, Santal 33 is definitely in my must-haves for my top 10. So let's move into the top 3 now. Now, in number 3, I'm going to have to put this one because it's not. I've gone for something a little bit dirtier, a little bit maybe considered grungy, I guess you could call it. It's a house that I'm fairly new to. This is one that I picked up in October when I was in Osmay Perfumery, and it's Black Afghano by Nasamato. I love this one because it's just absolutely hypnotic. It's just absolutely majestic. I think it's such an amazing blend. Now, I do love my boozy fragrances, as most of you know, and you maybe a little bit surprised that I haven't put Baronda in this top 10. But out of the house of Nasamato, to me, this is the most majestic blend there is. I really am addicted to this one. It's just the first time I ever wore it, it was just a little vial sample. It's like one of these, really. Obviously, but black. And considering it was just sort of dabbing it on and stuff like that, within 2 hours I was absolutely in love with the fragrance. It's one of those ones that I didn't know really what to expect, because there's so many different mixed reviews. People seem to love it or really hate it. So I went in with an open mind, and when I wore it, after 2 hours, it just had absolutely captured me. It just kept growing and growing on me. One thing I've noticed with this one as well, same with Boronda as well, is they tend to, when you put them on, they are quite strong fragrances. Obviously they're extracts, which is why you got the smaller bottle, the 30ml bottle, because you don't need to use quite as much. But one thing I do notice with them though is over time they tend to get a little bit stronger. They tend to grow in strength throughout the day. Funny enough, last week when I wore that on, it did actually draw a couple of compliments. First time I've ever had that one complimented, but somebody said, it was actually a lady in the office, and she actually said that it smelled quite clean, and she said it smelled unique. When I told her about it and I said it's based on sort of the nicer fragrances, or they've taken the nicer qualities of hashish. She seemed quite surprised by that, considering the way that it smells. But yeah, it's just such an amazing, sort of beautiful, sort of majestic and hypnotizing fragrance. It's absolutely mesmerizing. That's the best way I can describe that one. If you haven't tried it, like I said, it has got mixed reviews, but for me, I absolutely love it, and people seem to love the way it smells on me. My wife's also a big fan of that one on me as well. So let's get into my number two. Number two, again, a fragrance I think I wore on fairly recently. I can't remember now. I'm trying to think when I did wear it last. It is another one that I absolutely love. It's again a beast mode fragrance. I am a massive fan of projection and longevity, as you know. This is one of my strongest ones, and this one will go all day, all night, and I can still smell it even after I've had a shower the following morning, and it's Halfeti. I get the same sort of effect with Interlude as well. Halfeti though, I think it's such a beautiful, unique fragrance. I mean, it's one that I can wear again and again, and it seems to draw so much attention. It is a very strong fragrance. It's not one that you'll notice as far as strength on yourself so much. You will notice it, so you'll get wafts of it throughout the day, but you can't believe, well, I can't believe how much projection it does actually have. I can be walking across the street and somebody will stop me from like the other side of the street, because like maybe the wind's blowing in their direction, and they pick it up and they ask me what I'm wearing, because I mean, this one is a unisex fragrance. However, I'd definitely say it's more masculine than anything else. It's got a wonderful sort of blend of notes in there, including sort of spices and sort of fresher like vetiver notes. There's a little bit of oud in there. There's a whole bunch of notes in this one. I'm not going to go over any of these notes today that are in any of these fragrances. But I mean, because I prefer to concentrate on the way that they make me feel, or what I love about them most, rather than sort of getting too in depth with them. But this is definitely, I mean, it's hard, as I said, it's hard for me to put these in any kind of order, but this is one of my favorite fragrances. I fell in love with it when I was in San Francisco. I was very, very lucky to get it in March for my birthday from my parents when they come over from England, where I'm happy to say they got it at a much better price than what it's available in the States. But this one, out of all the ones that I've tried from Penhaligon's, this one stands out head and shoulders above the rest. So Penhaligon's Halfeti, if you haven't tried that one, definitely get that on your list of things to try, especially if you like your stronger fragrances. Now into number one. Obviously, if you watch my channel regularly, you will know that this is my favorite. My favorite fragrance of all time, and of course it's Straight to Heaven Extreme by Kilian. This is a limited edition one from Kilian. Pretty much this is everything that the original Straight to Heaven should have been. So it's got a double dose of the vanilla, double dose of rum, and double dose of the dried fruits, and it makes such a this one I'm just absolutely addicted to. Anytime I pick it up and I smell it, I just want to wear it there and then. I try and keep it more for sort of evenings now, or sort of date nights with my wife, because it is a very, very special fragrance to me. As you can see, I've not owned it that long. I'm not sure if you can see sort of the level it's at, so I have used quite a bit of it already. It's such an amazing fragrance to me, and it's going to take a while before anything beats this as my favorite fragrance of all time, which is why it's in there. It's such a beautiful, like I say, it's beautiful boozy fragrance, but yeah, with those vanilla notes in there as well, it just makes it absolutely stunning. So it's my number one. So there we go, there's my top 10. So there you have it, my top 10 fragrances for life. Obviously my first edition of this one, we'll revisit this in 6 months time, and sort of see what stays in the collection if I find anything new. But right now, these are the ones that I would pick above absolutely any frames that I've tried over the last 6 months, even the ones that I own. I mean, I think I've got about, well, there's 10 here, well, eight full bottles here. I'm not sure how many fragrances I actually own at the moment. Probably around 25, 30. Obviously, I'm trying different fragrances every day, so it's not like I go and buy fragrances all the time. I just stick to the ones that I know I'm going to wear when I get a chance to. So that's why I don't sort of own too many myself. I don't go crazy. I do spend a lot of money on samples and sampling, because that's the way I choose to run my channel. I want to know, I want to be able to give honest opinions on everything and tell you if it's worth the money and whether I'll buy it. So that's my top 10. As usual, please like, comment and subscribe below the video. I'd love to hear your top 10s. Please, please definitely let me know anything that you think I definitely need to try, and there's a possibility of it getting in my top 10 for next time in 6 months time. I will be trying out a lot of fragrances over the next few months, as I always am. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram. As I said, you can find me at Luxury Fragrance Boss, so you can keep up to date with my centre day, any videos I've got coming out, anything other than that. Also in the odd picture of the cats, because we've got the 2 new kittens now. Besides that, don't forget to hit that notification bell icon. That way you keep up to date with any new videos I've got coming out, so you never miss another one. Other than that, stay smelling fantastic. This is what a boss would wear. The Luxury Fragrance Boss, of course. I look forward to seeing my next video or review very, very soon, and thank you so much for watching.